Okay, I wanted to make this video because these scumbags, these Sony scumbags that live to downgrade Xbox, they don't care about, been through this before, they don't give a shit about Sony. All they care about is Xbox failing. That's their goal in life. You know, there's nothing positive about these scumbags with their fucking god of shit avatars. And, and they just went from NeoGAF just right to Reset Era now. I knew that would happen, but the funny thing is I opened this NPD thread, and the reason I'm reading it constantly is hoping for more, accurate numbers, which we're not getting yet. But we do have an idea of the numbers, and we have an idea what happened. And basically, it was through a couple of sources. PlayStation 4 sold about probably around 1.65 million. Xbox One sold about 1.5 million. And Nintendo Switch probably sold somewhere around 800 to 900,000, a distant third, in November 2017. Now, how do we know that? Well, one of the mods on here, and a well-known, he has NPD access. His name is ZoogeEX. He's one of the admins. He point blank said that the PlayStation 4 sold about double its November of 2014, which is a big hint he was dropping. So you go back to 2014, and it sold about. Now, the 2014 number for the PS14, November 2014, may not be completely accurate, but it was mostly accurate. And it was, well, I mean, we don't know how accurate it was. Kind of an estimate, but it should be reasonably accurate. It was about 830,000. Or some estimates have it at 800. I've seen 826,000. My estimate that I wrote down at the time was 831,000. I'm not sure why the discrepancy. But the estimate people are going with on Reset Era is 826 for the PS4 in November 2014. So double that. Right around, that gives you right around 1.65 million PS4s were sold this year. We know that's legit info, basically. It may not be completely exact, but close. Now, the other info we have is from a guy who posted something from a Mizuguchi Securities or something that's based off of NPD. Apparently they had like a graph or a bar graph in there. And in the bar graph they showed that Xbox sold about 10% less than PS4. And, excuse me, I gotta reply to a text here. So, oh yeah, in this bar graph, apparently, the person who saw it, and this is all reliable info, I guess, said, it wasn't exact. No, he was just eyeballing it, but it looked like Xbox sold about 10% less than PS4. So, 10% of 1.65 million is like 1.65 or 165,000. I mean, since these are all just rough estimates anyway, you could basically say that the Xbox One probably sold about 1.5 million. It'd be actually 1.485 million if you put it exactly 10% less. But, I don't see the point of being that precise when these are just estimates. So it probably sold about 1.5 million. And then he said that the Nintendo Switch was about half on this bar graph, about half of the PlayStation 4 sales. So half of 1.65 million is 825,000, I guess. So that's what we're working with here. Those are the rough numbers that we have. So the thing about this is pretty good for the Xbox. First of all, it was their biggest November ever if they sold, around 1.5 million. And I believe that was also confirmed by someone who has knowledge in the thread somewhere, that this was Xbox's biggest November ever. First of all, that's pretty good. I don't care what you're saying. That's good. And this is their 5th November, because they had November 2013 when they launched, November 2014, November 2015, November 2016, and now November 2017. It's 5 Novembers. So to place first, this was their best-selling Xbox November ever. This is for a console that everybody on GAF is constantly, oh, the Xbox is dead, you know, no one wants it, it's completely dead, it has no exclusives, it's completely dead in Europe, blah, 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 blah. How did it sell its best-selling November ever then? Here's another thing, one of the key points I wanted to make in this video. These idiot Sony fanboys on NeoGAF, but Reset Era now, have been saying for the whole year, oh, Xbox One X is not going to do anything. It's going to sell like shit. Nobody wants a $499 console. It's not going to, quote unquote, I heard this phrase a lot, move the needle at all for Xbox. You know, it's too expensive, and you know this comment was repeated thousands of times or some variation over the past year. Xbox One X is not going to move the needle in sales for Xbox. It's not going to sell well. It's not going to have any major effect. It's not going to have any effect. Because, and the other thing they always say was, look at PS4 Pro. It's very niche, you know. It's only selling at most 20% of PlayStations. And then add on that it's so expensive, you know, more expensive than PS4 Pro. It's not going to have any effect. It's not going to move the needle. So they beat that into our heads for the past year, trying to downplay Xbox at every turn. You know, of course, nothing Xbox does can be successful. So of course they're going to say it's not going to be a success and it's not going to sell well. You know, because they hate Xbox and every thought in their mind is downplay Xbox, attack Xbox, kill Xbox. You know, that's all they think about 24/7. And so then, so now it comes out that some people, I guess, even now, according to Reset Era and NeoGAF, you know, Xbox is the least popular console ever. Everybody hates it. It's total shit. So, it doesn't sell one unit. So if that's all true, why the fuck would you expect it to win November? But apparently some of them now set up this bullshit scenario that Xbox One X was supposed to carry Xbox to the win in November. Xbox was supposed to win November sales because of Xbox One X. So the whole year they say it's not going to have any effect. You know, it's way too expensive. It's going to be an incredibly niche product. No one's going to want it. You know, it's going to sell extremely small amounts. Then they turn around and they made millions of comments in this thread about how, oh my God, Xbox One X comes out and Xbox didn't even win the month. What the hell? You know, oh my gosh, this is so bad for Microsoft. This is so terrible for So see all the constant bullshit, and I knew they would do this, but all the constant bullshit games they play. So you can't have it both ways. Either the Xbox One X isn't going to be popular, isn't going to sell, and then you can't turn around and feign surprise that, oh my gosh, and feign that it's this huge negative against Microsoft that they didn't even win the month Xbox One X launched. You know, I mean, it's so much bullshit from these people. So much. It's disgusting. But of course they always do that. They always, none of them are saying now, well, it's not surprising because of course Xbox One X was too expensive and it's not going to sell. No, they're all going, oh my gosh, Xbox One X was supposed to make Xbox One win November. This is such a huge blow to Microsoft. Well, they've been saying all year Xbox One X is going to sell like garbage. There's so much crap. My goodness. And then look at these idiots. This thread is just complete negativity now about Xbox. That's all it is. The console just said its best November ever. It just sold 1.5 million consoles. Just 10% less than the PS4. Oh, and the other thing is, these are U.S. sales, but they always want to bring up their so-called world sales. And they always want to talk about everywhere else. And, oh, Xbox is dead in Europe. And first of all, that's a lie, and, they don't have any proof of that. There's no sales numbers in Europe. Yes, it does worse than PS4 in Europe. Yes, it does worse than it does in the USA. But it's not dead in Europe. They want to put every negative light and just constantly degrade and attack Xbox in every way possible, They're oh my gosh, I want to smash them in the face with a hammer. They're so annoying. And so they don't want to talk about USA sales here, but they want to talk about, oh, Xbox is dead in worldwide. No, it's not. You're a liar, you know. It sells great worldwide. It doesn't sell as well as the PS4. We know that. Here's a question I always want to ask these guys. They always say, like, Xbox is doing so bad. Xbox is doing so... Well, why is every third-party game still on Xbox? Every major Why is Call of Duty on Xbox? Why is, Far Cry on Xbox? Every game... No one would dare make a large multi-platform game and not put it on Xbox in 2017. Now, there's a few niche titles, mostly Japanese and such. And there's some indie games that have there's indie games that are only on Xbox too. But there's no, other than a few niche Japanese games like Persona, there's no major third-party game that would ever dare to be only on PlayStation. They have to be on PlayStation and Xbox. Why? If the Xbox is so much of a failure, and the Xbox is so, hated and unpopular, why would any of these third parties, Activision, Electronic Arts, Ubisoft, why are they making their games on Xbox too? Why are they making multi-platform games and not just PlayStation games? That proves that, what a lie these people are. They're such liars, They act like the Xbox is completely dead, like it doesn't sell one unit. Then why are all these games so Activision's gonna go ahead and pull support next year, right? No, of course not. Why not? Because there's a lot of Xboxes sold. A lot! And they know they can't afford to not sell on Xbox because it's popular. It's not as popular as PlayStation 4, but it's popular. That's what's so annoying about these shits, and they'd never admit that. And all they want to talk about is what a failure Microsoft did. It just sold its most ever in November. 1.5 million. And it's had a rough year. And Microsoft has done a lot of bad shit. And I still don't love their strategy. But, because I think that the Xbox One X is a huge step in the right direction. The main reason the Xbox brand has hope right now is the Xbox One X. And I think in the long term, it's a huge weapon for them. But it's $4.99, and that's going to be, it's going to tamp down the sales somewhat. I do have to admit that. But, still, they're still doing well. They're still sold they still had their greatest selling November ever. Again, I'm going to keep repeating that. And this thread is like a funeral dirge. Oh, who got MSPR account now? Feels that you... What's wrong? Because it sold 1.5 million? That's not good. The whole tone of this thread is the assumption that it's terrible for Xbox, which is a lie, And then they talk about how, everybody's talking. I saw one comment here. Everybody's talking about, oh, look at this guy. I saw part of a lot of niche games can significantly. Nier Automata, for example, already sold 2 million sales. No, I bet that's not true. These guys always exaggerate based on shady numbers. Where do you get sales numbers for Nier Automata? They don't exist. Persona 5 exceeded 2 million shipments. Oh, where's your proof? 2 million shipments? Okay, that's shit. That means it sold about half that, and that means nobody cared. That there's 70 million PlayStation 4s, and it sold 2 million, less than probably 1 million. Okay, once and all, you talked about it like 10 times as much as Call of Duty on NeoGAF because it was PlayStation exclusive. You hyped it up, and it sold less than 2 million. And you want to say that's a success? Give me a break. Every comment. The thing is, there hasn't been signs of software improvement. Whatever. They released just as many games as Sony. They just released Forza 7. They just released, plenty of games. Halo Wars 2. Well, there hasn't been any signs of software improvement. What a joke. And what a joke. Joke. And all these people attacking this Microsoft guy. You guys are a joke, Reset Era. Sony sucks, and the Xbox One X is the most powerful console, and you know you're in trouble now because it's going to outsell your PlayStation 4. And I love how, tell me how that selling 10%. Okay, here's the attitude on NeoGaf. Xbox is dead and the biggest flop ever. PlayStation 4 is the king of the world and the most successful console of all time. That's the general attitude and mood. So how much more did PS4 sell than Xbox One in the United States? 10%. So apparently the difference between the best-selling thing ever and the most popular, greatest thing ever and a huge failure is 10% sales. That doesn't make sense. If one thing is so amazing and so incredible and so great and so popular, then you can't say something that sells 90% as much as a flop. You just can't, And of course they'll again go back to worldwide. Well, you don't have worldwide sales numbers. Yes, we know PS4 is selling much better than Xbox. We know that, it's sold Xbox probably about 2 to 1. That's fine. That doesn't mean Xbox is a failure. That doesn't mean Microsoft's not making money about it from Xbox. That doesn't mean for sure Xbox is going away like you want it to. Xbox ain't going nowhere, babies. Get over it. This shit has been going on since 2001 when the original Xbox came out. It's 2017, almost 2018. Nothing's changed. Nothing has changed. You've tried for 17 years and you have not got rid of Xbox. And it's just had its best-selling November ever for its new console. And it just launched a powerful console that's going to cause it to sell more than PlayStation over the long term and dominate the mind share. There's no games. Well, if you can sell 90% of the best-selling console ever that has all the games, sign me up for no games. You'd probably save a lot of money not making the games if you're going to sell 90% as the PS4 anyway. And another thing they always do at NeoGaf is try to make like Europe is so important. The United States is bigger than all of Europe. Here's another thing. I always go look at Ubisoft financial results. And they break it down by platforms. So for example, the latest platform that ended in September, PlayStation 4 shipped 31% of their revenue was PlayStation 4. 20% was Xbox One. What is that? So PlayStation 4, this is worldwide software sales for Ubisoft. A European company, so if anything, they're probably a little biased towards Europe. Their sales will be. They're a French company. So PS4, this is in the last quarter ending September 2017, and I look at all their quarters. They're the only major software manufacturer that breaks sales out by quarter. Of course, NeoGaf totally ignores that, even though it's kind of big sales news, because it's always made the PS not look particularly impressive. They did have one quarter, like the quarter before this one, the quarter ending June 2017, where the PS4 actually sold about 2 to 1 software over the Xbox for Ubisoft. But every quarter before that, it's always been more like 1.5 to 1. In this latest quarter, it was 31 of all Ubisoft's revenue. The rest was like PC, mobile, etc. And Nintendo Switch actually had like almost 20% of Ubisoft's revenue last quarter, crazily enough. Which, but so out of all Ubisoft's revenue, 31% was PS4, 20% was Xbox. So PS4 was about 50% more of Ubisoft's revenue than Xbox. 50% more, not 2 to 1, 3 to 1, like NeoGaf makes it. That's worldwide. That's digital and packaged, because Ubisoft themselves are given that number. And they know exactly how many they sold of everything. So, if PS4 is the greatest thing since sliced bread, and they're selling only 50%, Xbox is selling 2/3 of the greatest selling thing since sliced bread on Ubisoft software, how can that be? So, that's just what Reset Era makes me so mad. They're so stupid. Best selling Xbox ever, and you go on this thread and it's just about how Xbox is a big flop. Xbox is a big... And that's all they were waiting around to do. They sit around waiting for this. It's their life. They just burn inside to do this, It makes me sick. And remember, Xbox One just had its best-selling November ever, and by far the biggest video game market in the world. Far, far, far. dozens of times bigger than these small European countries like Poland, that PlayStation might sell, 20 more consoles in. These all the markets that PlayStation dominates are incredibly small. The smaller the market, the more PlayStation does well in it. I'll put it to you that way. The bigger the market, United States, UK, Germany, France, the better Xbox does. Not well, mind you, in Germany and France, but the bigger the market, the better Xbox does. The smaller and more irrelevant the market, the better PS4 does relatively. And that's why it doesn't do them any good doing all these little European markets. And there's no profit in those markets either, because people there don't buy digital. They're poor. These are like the third world countries of Europe, like Portugal, where the income is low, Spain even to an extent. And those people can't afford games. They don't buy many games with the life of the system. They don't buy a lot of digital games. The profit numbers are very low, whereas the United States customer, where we have a lot of wealth, or UK, we're going to, on average, buy many more games, buy many more digital titles, and be much more profitable customers. So you want that US and UK market. You don't, Portugal, you can sell a PS4 in Portugal. It's not going to help you. That person is not going to make you a lot of profit. So anyways, I'm done with